y'all, it's Hope at Crafty Hope, and you see on my desk I have a bunch of like laser cut pieces. I found those at Tuesday morning. I believe I have a thrifty haul of them. I can't remember the name, but I'll try to link to the thrifty haul where I shared them. Anyway, this was part of my 100-day project to use one of those laser cut things, and if you saw that, I picked out a little butterfly. So I'm working here in my small junk journal, which is one I made forever ago, and just have been slowly working my way through. So I knew that that little butterfly would be my focal for this, so that kind of made it a little bit easier. And I spent a lot of time working on the background and building up some layers for this. The page I'm actually working on in the junk journal is a piece of graph paper, super thin, so I wanted to cover it up. So I'm gonna just go with my usual collage. I've just grabbed some scraps from my little scrap box, and I'm gonna just glue them down with my Oohoo glue stick. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I'm actually going to fast forward here in just a second so you don't have to watch all of my collaging because it goes on forever because I cover up pretty much the whole page since that graph paper is super thin. So yeah, I'm going to skip ahead to this and go to the next thing. And the next thing is I'm going to use an Amsterdam ink, this here, the warm gray. And y'all, again, I didn't have any direction other than I knew I wanted to use that butterfly. So I'm going to put this warm gray down and spray it with, did I spray it? Yeah, spray it with a little bit of water. And then I'm going to go over bits and pieces of the page. I was trying really to just kind of get the pieces that are on the page to meld together to be a little more cohesive, and that's all I was really trying to do. But this warm gray step is kind of useless because I'm going to cover the whole thing up here in a second anyway. But I really do like this warm gray. It's almost the color of some of those like aged papers, so it's kind of nice. It didn't work, like I said, kind of the way I wanted it to, so I'm gonna move on to something else. So what I do is I grab some Americana paint, and I think this is Coral Blush. It's one of my favorite colors. I've mentioned before I'm not like a pinky girl, but I don't mind peaches so much in small doses. Now this one, I take a wet paintbrush and I end up just covering the whole page with this Coral Blush. See, I wet it down, I kind of get it really thin and just cover the whole page. And then I'm going to blot it with a paper towel, and I may even dry it with my heat gun, but I just kind of get this whole page this pretty peachy color. Yep. And that makes those papers in the background, that gives them that cohesiveness I was looking for in the beginning. So here, yeah, I'm going to dry this real quick and come back, and it's really nice. Yeah. And so I had this piece of tea bag, and like I said, I kind of worked on developing layers for that butterfly, so I knew that this was going to be one of the background layers here. Been hanging on to these tea bags for a while, and I forget to use them, or I don't think they're going to be effective, so, but I thought in this, against that peach, it would be kind of fun. And, yeah, so I get that done and I just use my Oohoo glue stick, and then I grab some instant coffee. This is just some from the dollar store, I believe, and I'm sprinkling it down on the page, and then I'm going to use a wet paintbrush and some water and all of that to kind of give it, well, I use my little sprayer, and I'm going to just try to give it a kind of aged, yummy look. And the bonus is it smells like coffee. I'll add more to this, but there are bits and pieces of this I really love. My only complaint about using the instant coffee, and it may be just that this cheap brand, I'm not sure if all brands do it, but it tends to be like almost sticky and have like a shine to it that is kind of weird when you're trying to get an age feel for something. To have that bit of a shine is a little weird, but again, I really enjoy the look of it for the most part, so I try not to let it bother me too much. Now, I knew I wanted this page to feel kind of old and rustic and all of that. That's why I'm adding the coffee to give it that browning and all there. So I'm going to first I'm going to grab a nail buffer, and I decide that that's not really doing what I want it to do. So I'm just going to grab a piece of cheapo sandpaper and age the background, and some go over a little bit of that coffee, even a little bit, to try to take some of that shine off. And that's some, like I said, some super cheap sandpaper, so the sand kind of comes off and gets everywhere. But that's not a big deal. That just is a mess on my desk. It doesn't have a whole lot of impact on the page. But anyway, I like how it reveals some of the colors of the pages that are underneath that peach I put on there. And it's a good, easy way to reveal some of the, I don't know, the color underneath and give it that age. So now I'm using a couple sprays. The first one is, I think it's Golden Sleigh Bells by Lindy's. I'll have a link, or possibly a link, but the name of it below for you. And then I've also got my homemade alcohol spray in brown, which really ends up being really yummy on this page. So I sprayed that in a couple spots. The tea bag especially kind of just soaked that up along with the coffee and just gave it some really yummy grunginess. And then here I grabbed my Stabilo All Pencil in black, and I love this. And this has been, y'all, this has been like a serious go-to technique for me lately. And it's just to put some scribbles really lightly down and then use a wet paintbrush and go over it, because that Stabilo just kind of melts the color automatically. Just, I don't know, it's so fabulous. It's like magic. It just poof, magic melts. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know if it's the actual what I end up with or just watching it do that I love more. So and I go a little crazy with this, getting lots of little marks, trying to make it I don't know. I don't know exactly the effect that I was trying to achieve, but I know that the bit of black in there really helps, especially since I've got the black in that little wood piece there. So it kind of helps play off of it some. And I had that little piece of lace. This is some kind of, I don't know, it comes in like a pack. I don't remember what it's called, but you find it with like the bias tape and stuff. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to use there. I haven't glued it down or anything, but then I grabbed these Tombow brush pens. Y'all, I hardly ever use these. I love them, and I just can't find the best way to use them. But I decided that I was going to use them on my little butterfly to color it. And I had no idea how this was going to work, but I figured let's give it a chance. And I knew that they are water soluble, so that I could probably, even there's like a blending marker in there, I could have used that, but I wanted to use the water to help blend them. So I'm starting with this darker blue, and then I'm going to do this lighter blue. And I love blue, and I thought it would work fun with that pink to really kind of pop off of that page. So you see I put a little space between the two blues, and I'm just kind of blending them into one another using a water brush. I could have used a wet paintbrush, but I don't know. For some reason, the water brush seemed more precise, maybe. So, and I'm letting those out pretty much all the way to the edges here, and just trying to get those colors to kind of meld together. And it worked beautifully. If you'll look at the pictures at the end, you'll see that there was some bleeding outside of the lines from the Tombow because it soaked into the soaked into the wood, and so it just kind of spread out because the wood is a porous surface. But I still think that gives it kind of a nice grungy effect to it. So, and here I wanted to try something else. I wanted to add some kind of sparkle or glitter, so I've grabbed this. It's a glitter pen from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just testing it on the back to see how it does. I'm not going to use this gold one because I didn't really have any gold on the page. Instead, I've got a blue one, a dark blue one that I'm gonna put kind of in the blue area, the dark blue area of the butterfly, and kind of pull it out from the center with my finger. So see how I'm doing that, putting it down a little bit and pulling out. And this is all again an experiment, and it works out really nice. I know the background is kind of rustic in age, but again, I wanted that butterfly to kind of pop off this page, and that definitely helps. But I wanted also some of the same feeling in the background. I wanted it to blend a little, so I'm going to add some blue here in just a little bit to make it all work. But for the time being, I'm going to go ahead and excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and add my lace on my butterfly down using some matte gel medium. since I know that that's going to hold it a lot better than my, there's no way I think my Oohoo glue stick would hold down that butterfly. So I just went ahead and did both of those with the gel medium. I'm trying to get it all lined up and pretty. And here's where I start thinking, okay, I think I need some blue on this page to kind of make that butterfly a little more cohesive. I mean, it's fine the way it is. I probably could have just left this the way it is right now, but I decided to grab some more of that Amsterdam acrylic ink, and this is, oh y'all, I love this color. It's Primary Cyan, is how you say it, C-Y-A-N, cyan, and I love it. And so I'm just gonna put a little bit in bits and pieces on the page. Again, like I said, I'm just trying to make that blue on the butterfly feel like it belongs there. So these are just some drips and whatnot that I'm getting on the page. And I probably could have gone super crazy with this, but I knew I was really digging that background, so I didn't want it to be out of control. So, and I'm trying, I don't know, didn't really have any rhyme or reason to the areas that I was picking, but I don't know, I almost didn't want them to feel like those drips were coming out of nowhere. So like the one at the top, and then that other one's coming along down one of the lines I did with the Stabilo. And anyway, there was a little bit of reason to it, but really I was just playing, trying to get that blue on there. And I think I'm going to try this real quick once I get those on there. No, maybe not. I can't remember. We're gonna watch and be surprised. I did the editing for this video a couple days ago, but couldn't do the voiceover after I'd done the editing because there was a lot going on in my house at the time. Now, y'all, do y'all see that where I picked up that wet ink there? I love that blurry yumminess of it. Look at that. I'll definitely have to use that page in something else. Yeah, I went back and admired it because I was like, that's awesome. So here I'm going to come back with that glitter marker and just kind of go down some of the edges of that blue to get it to sparkle as well, just so that some of that sparkle is also playing off into the page. I don't like things that don't seem like they belong. It doesn't feel, I keep saying cohesive, but I guess that's the best word. It's just I want it to feel like everything's like it should be, like it belongs in there. So put that little bit of that sparkle along the edges, and then I think I'm going to go looking for a word. Yeah. And these, oh y'all, I can never remember. Clippings, maybe? These are Tim Holtz brand, and I believe they're called Clippings. And I don't remember what that says, so we'll get to be surprised at the end because in my little editing program here, the image is too small for me to see that little thing. And it obviously wasn't going to stick to that lace. I think there was still some matte gel still wet in the back, and just the texture of all of that, it didn't want to stick. So I used some more matte gel medium to glue it down. And I probably could have used my glue stick, but I don't know. It just made sense to go ahead and use the matte gel. And it, oh gosh, I wish I knew what it says. I'm thinking I can't. Something about the open sky, which I think works with the butterfly. And then I needed some light to it, something not so dark. And so I've just got this China marker in white, and I'm adding some little dashes. And after that, I think that's going to be it for this page, y'all. I'm going to give you some closer looks of it. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. And if you like it, give me a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe. All right, guys, I appreciate y'all watching. Keep on crafting on. Bye.